All right, so this brief lecture will be on the verb ir, which means to go. All right. Ir is what we call an irregular verb because no matter what, it does not follow any of the rules that we have learned for AR, ER, or IR verbs. And so with irregulars, you basically just have to memorize its forms. We've already done one irregular verb, and that's the verb ser. And so with the verb ir, okay, it's voy, vas, va, vamos, vais, van. Okay, now, when you use the verb ir, there's a couple of verbs like this in Spanish, but ir is the most used one, where you always, 1,000 times always, have to have an a after it, okay? As you continue to study Spanish, if you take Spanish 2, Spanish 3, Spanish whatever, you will encounter more of these, but for now, this is your first. Always have an a, all right? Now, typically we use the verb ir, obviously, to talk about going places, but we also use the verb ir to construct a simple future, okay? Because literally you translate it as going to, all right? So something that you're going to do later on. And so in this case, you can fill in at the end with either a place or an action, okay? So for example, voy a comer, I'm going to eat. Voy a estudiar, I'm going to study, okay? Now, of course, that could mean something that you're about to do, but it could also be used in a longer sentence or even just the way it is to talk about what you're going to do tomorrow, okay? If someone asks you, what are you doing tomorrow? Voy a estudiar, okay? You literally just talked about the future, okay? And then, of course, with a place, voy a la clase, I'm going to class, or voy a la casa, I'm going home, okay? So, voy, okay, vas, va, vamos, vais, van. Always, 1,000 times always, you have a, and then, of course, either a place that you're going to or an action that you're going to do using the verb ir to construct the future. Okay? Now, in the last chapter, we went through the first contraction in Spanish, okay? If you recall, if you ever have the word de or el next to each other, then it becomes del, okay? And so, and this typically only applies to places. In Espanol, and here comes the second, sorry, I'm trying to write at the same time, and I apologize once again for the background noise. Whenever you have a plus el next to each other, so for example, and this comes from the second part of the vocabulary, el centro means downtown, el centro comercial means the mall, okay? So if you're going downtown, okay, voy a el centro, well, this would contract, and once again, I apologize, to al, okay? Same thing with the mall. If you were saying that you were going to the mall, you combine a and el, okay? We drop the e, And remember, we don't use apostrophes. Okay? So, voy al centro. I'm going downtown. Voy al centro comercial. I'm going to the mall. All right? So, this is your quick lesson on the verb ir.